Yes! Morning, you absolute marvels, and welcome to the 10 from the EV Café. 30 minutes of what's happening in sustainable transport, proudly sponsored by Drax Electric Vehicles, because they are doing the EV business. Who we got in the house? Well, let's do them in order of how they joined. Breakfast boy, Paul, how are you, my friend?
Have I got it on my whiskers?
Yeah.
I don't know. Let me just show Sam. No, just kidding. I'm really good, thank you. I was able to join the Iveco Mission Awards last night. I love how what they call the awards that they provide for their customers missions. You know, it's just brilliant. The use case is such a dull word, but mission sounds like something that we should all be on, and we are on, right? A mission to make the difference. And they have an alternative fuel version and all that good stuff. So it was really good.
It was a mission this morning watching you shoveling your breakfast into your face as we prepared for this broadcast. Exactly. Sarah, how are you? You were second on this morning.
I was. I'm
How you
actually
doing?
all right, but I did almost forget that it was 10 o'clock because I was so engrossed in something exciting that might happen next year.
Right. And young Sam squeaked in 9:59 in about 40 seconds. How
In a
are
baggy
you, Flower?
jumper.
Yes. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, I'm glad it's Friday because I'm knackered.
Yeah, you've had a bit of a week. We all have. It's been
We all
incredibly
have,
busy.
yeah. It's
We all
busy.
met up during the week and had quite simply the best planning day for 2026 it's possible to have. It's 2 minutes past 10. Now then, grab a cuppa, plug in to what's been happening. I told you he was eating his breakfast.
He wasn't lying.
In clean transport this week. And coming up, the best electric vehicle charging networks have been revealed by ZapMap. Electric van demand is sparking up, but more has to be done to go green. Special story for Sam. Ulemco secures funding for zero emission range, but that's going to be the H word. And Drive Tech. This last story, if you do nothing else all day, hang around for this last story because it's about something I had never heard of but is utterly amazing. Drive Tech donates EV driver training to Gordon Brown's Multibank charity. A brilliant charity. It's all about the circular economy and those in need. It's an utterly heartwarming Christmas story in November. But first, it's a very special commercial clap. Go, Joe.
Joe.
A commercial clap from the EV Café.
Innovation applauded.
Ordinarily, this is where we shout out those wonderful innovators, pioneers and entrepreneurs who have made a difference or are making a difference in the world of EV. Today, we're incredibly sad to report the passing of Quentin Wilson, aged 68. We wanted to mark it because to many, Quentin was the instantly recognisable face of Top Gear and Fifth Gear and all that stuff from the 90s, and the sharp-witted consumer champion who made the often complex world of car buying understandable and crucially trustworthy. He wasn't just a presenter, he was an industry advocate and a true enthusiast. But for us here at the EV Café, Quentin's most profound legacy was in the latter chapters of his career. He was one of the earliest, most passionate and most influential voices to champion electric vehicles, present company accepted. He didn't just accept the EV transition, he campaigned for it. He famously called the electric revolution unstoppable, and he was right. And he used his significant platform to demystify the technology, confront range anxiety, and inspire countless drivers to make the switch. His honesty and enthusiasm helped shift the narrative from niche curiosity to mainstream necessity. Quentin's impact is measured not just in the cars he reviewed and talked about, but in the sustainable future he helped accelerate. He was a gentleman who always made time for us, to feel that we had connected with him, often making time to speak and have selfies with us. We were his EV family. He will be greatly missed, and I know Quentin touched so many careers in the industry. Do any of you out there have anecdotes, standout memories of Quentin that you can share in the comments? Hit us up. And Sam, let's start with you. Any thoughts, anecdotes, stories? You knew Quentin quite well.
Yeah, I knew pretty well for many years. Yeah, it's a great loss, and I think he was quite intimidating in a very subtle, quietly spoken way, because every word uttered you knew was accurate, and his depth of knowledge was just quite incredible, really. And as you say, he's always been hugely supportive. He was incredibly supportive, particularly a year or two ago when I did the rally on the motorbike. He not particularly biker, but he, as far as I understood, but he was really supportive of that, as has been on the records as well, because it's just another mechanism, much like the things that he did, that showcased the art of the possible, and all the things and all the messaging that we want to get across. So yeah, it's hugely sad, and he will be missed. And he was a font of knowledge, which in his legacy remains, because he wrote an awful lot, a lot of booklets, a lot of books, a lot of information, which is still very much relevant. But yeah, real shame, real shame to see him go. And we won't forget him, though. We won't forget him. He'll be here with us forever.
His legacy lives on. Sarah, any thoughts, memories of Quentin?
Absolutely. LinkedIn was awash with selfies of people who shared that time with him, because he always had time for absolutely anyone. And I chose instead to use a photo that I took of him for a change with other people, because for me that was how he lifted people up. You could tell when the camera wasn't rolling, he was friends with all of those people. They weren't just, the face didn't drop like some celebrities do. And I think that's it for me as well. Quentin, for all of his achievements, he is a cross-border celebrity. People know him from the petrol world and the EV world, and he was a massive conduit between the two, a believable voice. And I did very vocally say, should the VAT thing go ahead, we should somehow name it something like the Quentin Effect, or something that honours his pretty tireless commitment to it, whether you agree with it or not. So should it go ahead, I'd love to see him establish some kind of tribute way post passing.
And Paul, he always made time for everybody, right at the top of their careers, as well as, struggling at the bottom. And we saw a photograph of you with him.
Slightly rude, but very appropriate, because it very much felt like Premiership meets Sunday League. Filming with Quentin for a day for, as it was, Vital EV Solutions. And we were in the Gaydon Motor Museum. And of course, as there was some great vehicles around there. There's, Del Boy's three-wheeler in there. But importantly, there was a vehicle from General Motors. I think it was Vauxhall, maybe at the time, GT Lightning, which was one of the earliest electric vehicles, which he drove around London. And so in the 90s, and we're walking around, and of course, we're in the public, it's an open environment, and every now and again somebody would sort of look and walk up and sort of, interrupt. But he was absolutely fine with it. He understood the privilege of being known, and the responsibility of being able to sort of communicate, what are you doing here? We were talking about electric vehicles and electric commercial vehicles in particular. And his time that he gave me, because I was messing things up all of the time, and he was just being the consummate professional. One take,
surely not.
Well,
Who could?
indeed,
Hold
right?
the front page.
I know, right? I was making mistakes, and he wasn't. But he was very, very patient, very, very gracious, and right up to the end in July, I saw him in July at an Electric Vehicles UK event to promote electric vehicles to the guys in Parliament. He's around there driving around with MPs, labouring right to the. And let's be honest, he must have known at that point, where he was at in whatever was going on for him. And it's quite impressive. He's a mountain of a man, and very, very grateful to have known him.
I have to say that nobody deserves the commercial clap more than Quentin Wilson. Quentin, you will be missed, and thank you for all you have done. Right, it's 10 past 10 almost. Let's crack on. And the results of ZapMap's annual satisfaction rankings for rapid and ultra-rapid public charging networks in the UK have been published, and for the second year in a row, Tesla scored highest in the large-size network category, while Smart Charge, the charging network of the Sainsbury's supermarket chain, leads the rankings for medium networks. This year's survey, conducted during September and October 2025, received responses from 4,000 battery electric vehicle drivers and Melanie Shufflebotham, who will be with us for National EV Week as one of the speakers. The co-founder and chief operating officer at ZapMap said, this year we have 19 networks on the combined rankings table, with new additions of movements across categories, showing the extent to which the market continues to evolve. These rankings provide first-hand feedback directly from EV drivers, acting as a solid indication of which networks are more reliable, as well as giving the industry guidance on driver needs and priorities. If you want to find out those tables and who's done really well, just search up ZapMap, Best EV Charging Network, on Google or your browser of choice, and you'll see the full results. Now then, Sarah, what's changed in the last year as far as the charging experience, and who's your favourite network? And
Well, I guess that's just it.
Yeah, let us know in the comments. Yeah, absolutely. But
that's the
Go
thing.
for
I
it.
would love to see this be an even wider net than it is, because of course it's made up of many, many different facets, but we're all strange creatures. So for Smart Charge to win, I can see why. I mean, lots of people are loving it, but I don't have one anywhere near me, so I've never used one. And previous years has been sort of fascinating. And again, if you have used one, then it's absolutely fantastic. But I do wonder how it would look differently if it was on how many times have you used a particular network and what did you think of it, rather than what is your favourite network. I mean, by that merit, I just used an MFG this week, who 1, saved my bacon, 2, the price was acceptable, 3, it had a canopy, and 4, I got a free Costa. Absolute winner, and it was 200 kilowatts being pumped into my Tesla. So, you know, it was pretty good as far as that goes. The guy next to me drove into a bollard, so I got to watch that as well.
I bet he said old bollards as well. Paul, MFG made number 2 in the ultra rapid chargers. What do you think, especially with vans in mind? Best network for vans?
Well, absolutely, yeah. I mean, I quite like the Ionity, although they can be a little bit temperamental from time to time, but they tend to work okay with an RFID card, particularly. And of course, I happen to be at the Chippenham Ionity charging truck stop, and saw the Ionity chargers flexible enough to be able to kind of go over a particular fence and charge an E600 Actros and a Volvo electric, whilst 2 others, 44 tonners or 42 tonners were waiting to charge. It was quite an incredible sight to see them being able to be used both for electric cars and vans and trucks. So I sort of like that, and I like the way that they lay their stuff out often. Typically, I mean, I like the Sainsbury's stuff. MFG is a good one for me that I like to kind of go. They seem to just, you can rock up, you get on with it, and that's the important thing for me, is minimum hassle at the point of delivery, and they win for me every time.
Good stuff. And Sam, it would be unfair of me to ask you that same question, but Griddy did quite well.
Yeah, I was just smiling at the MFG thing. I mean, Paul's he's an able-bodied human, so he can use the chargers at MFG. But if you're disabled, then forget it. Go somewhere else, because it's like an assault course. So I think there's a lot of stuff we've got to really consider still in terms of the way in which we build this infrastructure. And you know, these things are good. These surveys, it's very easy for us to take individual examples of things that we've done and then extrapolate that across a whole network, which I think is a dangerous game, to be honest. And you know, 3,000 or 4,000 drivers surveyed is great, but you know, we charged 300,000 people last month. So there's a pinch of salt in here. It's nice to be on the list, but I also agree Tesla deserves to be at the top of the pile as well. But after that, it's a bit tricky to know, you know, on a ranking system whether one's better than the other, because we've all got our own personal experiences. Lots of different charging hubs within charge point operators can be very different within the same infrastructure for a company. So yeah, they're good to have these surveys, but I don't take a tremendous amount of weight out of them.
No.
Because it's a fraction. It's an absolute fraction of the people who actually are charging every day.
It's a bit like asking the question, who's your favourite EV Café presenter, isn't it? It's just, you know...
You wouldn't dare!
We wouldn't.
Because I know where you all live.
Plugsy.
Right, indeed. It is Plugsy Bear. And if you want to hook up with Plugsy Bear on LinkedIn, you can just search Plugsy Bear. And he's our new director of Funner. And we were really proud to get him on board. Now then, it's time for the shout outs. 10:15.
yay!
We got to hustle. Steve Warts smashed the doors in this morning, 7:12. Obviously, the alarm clock was a bit late. Daryl Sharp, morning to you. James at Screenwash King, he's here. Stuart Humphrey, only 6 EV Café news shows until Christmas. Simon and Barbara, they are back from New Zealand.
Clean tech
Lovely
fans.
to see you here. I do hope that you had a quite magnificent month down under, if you'll pardon the expression. Dev Chakravarti, Wayne Dunn, nice to see you. Belinda Automotive is here. And I've got to stop at Sarah Wellstead. Sarah Wellstead. Now then, 9:47 this morning, she sent me a little story and she said, could you do us a favour and talk about our used EV? So, Joe, have you got a picture? This is the quite wonderful, I think, Eric, who is a 2017 Nissan Leaf. Sarah and her family decided to get rid of an old diesel Transit Connect that they had and put 500 quid of their savings to that for running around, because it does relatively low mileages. But the most important thing is store solar. And Sam, I know you've done something very similar, just bought an old Nissan Leaf to store your renewables.
Yeah, more on that another day, I think. But yes, I have just taken receipt of my Nissan Leaf yesterday with 141,000 miles on the clock. For a snip, and I'm very excited about what I'm going to be doing with it, but I'll share that another day.
Yeah, absolutely superb. Back to the shout outs. Ash Bannister, good morning. Teresa Swift, hello darling. DEV Chakravarti, Leon Rook, Paul Shirabarm father. Paul, you've been doing a super job this week. Thank you very much for all your comments. Liz Allen, always good to see you. Laura Huswick Wilkes of the quite wonderful Power. Who else we got? Beyond Innovation Limited. Morning all. From a dry Scotland. Oh yes, you're darn right, my friend.
Show off.
Tony Clayton, Soggy in Pontypridd. Toby Hiles. Oh, best 30 minutes of the week. You're right. Evie Bino, Ron Godfrey, he's here. Ian Mayhew, great to see you. Ryan Phillips of the EVA. Morning, late but here. You're here. That's all that matters. James Peacock, good to see you. Tom Central Dyke, Middle Ditch of Europe Car in the house. Phil Reeves, hello. Who else we got? Rob Dustin, feeling a 7 out of 10. I'd take that, frankly. That's good. Tracy Kearns from Welsh Wales, good to see you. And Snelson, she's sorry she's late as well. And do you know what? You don't have to be sorry. You're here. Sarah Gray of Dawson's Group, brilliant to see you. You do marvellous work. Trevor Palmer, well, who'd have thought from EV Blocks? You'll be getting a shout out in a little while, but good to have you here. LinkedIn user, he's here. It's Peter Heath. He's got nice teeth. Oh, yes, most definitely. Jamie Duncan. Oh, bollards. Rude. Oh, yeah, that's what I said. And it was very quick. You're right. Who else we got? We got Rob V. Now, what's the V stand for, Rob? Do tell us. Who else do we have? Lots and lots of comments.
We had
now
Michael Barton earlier, so I did
Barton.
flag him, but hi, Michael.
Bless you for that. Wanted to just mention a quick shout out to London. Bless you, because as from January the 2nd, the owners of electric cars will now be charged £13.50 a day in the London's ULEZ, whilst electric van and lorry drivers will pay £9. These are reductions of 25% and 50% respectively on the £18, which other motorists will have to pay from that date. But do you know what? Seriously, do you ever think you've had your leg lifted? This can't be right. Surely that we've got to start paying a congestion charge in London, or is it? You tell us.
Let's dig it out. We covered it on the news months ago, so we'll have plenty of fodder.
Absolutely, because I just think that's a bit of a leg lift. Anyway, right, let's move on.
Absolutely.
Interest in electric vans. Paul, electric vans, mate. Interest in electric vans has almost doubled over the past year as tradespeople are increasingly willing to embrace the greener options and new players enter the market, but more needs to be done to accelerate the transition. According to Auto Trader, the UK's largest automotive platform, Auto Trader's data shows that 89,500 views of electric vans took place on the marketplace in September, a 75% jump on the same month last year. The surge in interest contrasts with a 16% slide in views for diesel vans. The rise in interest is driven by a greater choice of models and growing interest in zero-emission alternatives, and the recent extension of the government's plug-in van and truck grant, which currently offers discounts of up to £5,000 on retail prices of electric vans. Diesel-powered vans still dominate advert views compared to electric vans, accounting for 72% versus 11%.
Wow.
So we've got new products like the Kia PV5, which gets the £5,000 grant, and they're drawing interest. Of course, we use leasing.com for new vehicles and comparison in the new market. So whether you want new or used, there's a great deal for you out there. Paul, vans. It's good underlying trends there that more people are searching them out.
It is. I wonder if, I mean, there's a lot of work being done to surface the whole life cost. I was working with a client of mine on whole life cost for electric vehicles, and it gets into the nuts and bolts around the transaction cost. And what we're seeing, the bottom line is this, that diesel is costing more than an electric up front. Up front, list price, or not list price, but transaction price. Very different, and that you see that in Auto Trader. So what you'll see is vehicles that are costing less than their diesel counterparts, and people are going, oh, that looks cheap. Oh, hang on, that's electric. And they perhaps are getting drawn in by the price, because I learned this at Vanarama a long time ago. If you price these things right, you will see interest. And we sold the single worst electric van that ever hit the market, the Transporter. It would no mileage, no range, slow charging, 3 gears.
Oh.
Yes, 3 gears. You heard it. It was terrible. But we sold it. It got sold because it was the right price. It was, solid quality. It did what it said it did on the tin, which wasn't a lot, but no, we had no complaints, didn't come back, it was fine. This is the thing. Get the pricing information out there. Get the whole life cost. Whole life cost. This company is saving upwards of £200 a month if they move to electric on a whole life cost basis. That is a lot of money.
Yeah, sure is. Now then, hang on a sec. I've got. There's late news. There's late news. Hold on. The number of domestic UK flights has more than halved over the past 20 years, even as global air travel continues to grow. A total of 213,000 UK flights were scheduled in 2025, compared to a peak in 2006 of 454,000 flights. In other words, that's a fall of more than 240,000 flights, or an average daily reduction of 661 flights across the UK every single day. A combination of better and more frequent train services, higher air passenger duty tax, concern about the environmental impacts of flying, and changing work patterns, especially since pandemic, have all played their part. Do you know what? For me, that's fabulous news. Halved. Except for Johnny Berry, obviously, who flies everywhere. Sam, you please, because you don't take very many flights at all.
No, I do not. And I was just thinking, imagine if Paul and Johnny didn't exist. Imagine how much lower it would be then.
Plane's still flying.
No, it's good though,
I hate
isn't
to
it?
break
It's
it
good.
to you.
It's good. It's really good. And I'm not a big fan of long haul flights. It's not good for the environment. And yeah, if there's a decline in flights, then great. It's just good news. There's still other ways of getting around. We've all got to fly sometimes, but if everyone is making a more conscious decision to do it less, then more's the better.
I wanted to give Sam the chance to be happy before I broke the next news story. Hydrogen transport specialist Ulemco is launching its first zero-emission solution for heavy-duty vehicles. Founded by cleantech innovator Amanda Lynn, the Liverpool-based company has secured a £1.8 million loan from Innovate UK to accelerate development of a new range of vehicles designed that are notoriously hard to decarbonise, including fire engines, ambulances, and HGVs. The range will include a product that combines an electric motor with hydrogen combustion engines to replace the diesel engine in existing vehicles. So this is all about retrofit. Ulemco raised $5 million last year in a funding round led by Northern Powerhouse Investment Fund to help it develop the technology. And earlier this year, a hydrogen-powered baggage truck. That's what Sarah drives round in.
It kind of is.
A baggage truck.
So bad, my car.
Was used at Exeter Airport in one of the first turnarounds of a commercial aircraft using renewable energy. Now we know, because we don't just paint the world the colour we want it to be, we know that EVs do struggle in certain applications. We were having a conversation during the week about EV refuse trucks and the challenges that are truly being faced in the world at the moment. EV is suitable for many applications. Sarah, do you nail yourself to the mast and say, do you know what, it's EV or nothing? Or are there alternatives out there?
It's really tricky. Next week I'm joining Bath University for a live streamed video debate on exactly this subject, and that's funded by a hydrogen project, so I wonder what we'll talk about. But I'm there to represent EV, and there's reasons for that. Case studies, you just got to look at Nottingham. They've got the UK's largest bunch of those refuse collection vehicles, and they're all run on hydrogen. And delete myself, they are all run on electric, and they even have a backup battery provided by Second Life van battery packs. You can stand inside the shipping container and see the connected energy. That's what the brand is called, and they're all around you. So it's a fantastic ecosystem of electric power, has enabled them to recharge in time to get back out to do the next round. So if they can do it, Nottingham, I think the rest of us can too.
Good. Paul, quick thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a straight line, and that's why, because even Nottingham have had their issues as the press has recorded, but it's not a straight line. But what we've got to do is recognise that actually there is one technology that is stepping out ahead of all of the rest. There isn't the infrastructure yet for hydrogen. It's more expensive. It's challenging. Electric is solving the problems, but the fact that there is problems, and sometimes we just kind of scoot over them and sweep them under the carpet, we don't necessarily address those problems and move forward. But we should be very open about all of this and push forward with the electric agenda, because it solves most of the problems.
You can tell that Paul originally came from the southwest. There is problems, look.
There be problems.
There be problems
out there.
There be problems, ain't it?
Sam, yeah, we could almost tell by your face what you thought.
Well, not necessarily, right? I mean, I think very quickly, my rant of late is that what frustrates me a lot from naysayers in the market is that we all think that AV is the solution to everything. And I don't know anybody with more than one brain cell that thinks that that's the case. There is an absolute need for other types of technology in niche markets that EV doesn't suit. And I don't think anyone has ever said otherwise. And this might be one of those niches where those really, really difficult trucks, those emergency services or whatever, that this might be a solution for them, right? So if it is, then great. However, big however, is this is funded by government, again, which is taxpayers' money. And these things, and a lot of projects, even my HDV one is part funded, right? You need this stuff to be a catalyst for change and drive things forward. But how many times has money been poured into the hydrogen market only to find that it doesn't have any commercial viability thereafter? So my fear, yet again, is that we'll get to a point where money's been poured in, and yes, it'll provide a solution, and then nothing else will happen because it's not efficient, it's too expensive, and no one's going to want to use it in long term. But if it's retrofitting existing old stuff, then I don't know, maybe it's got a place. Good luck to you. Can't do any harm, I suppose.
We spoke about Rob V earlier on. Rob, vowels or voles? Now, I'm not sure. Little voles. Oh, bless.
Oh, I love a vole.
Little voles.
So cute.
Anyway, the best story of the day so far is the final story. Gordon Brown, the ex-Prime Minister, when he finished Prime Ministering, founded the Multibank charity in partnership with Amazon to provide essential goods to families in need. They've recently received a generous donation of 100 Mercedes-Benz e-Sprinter electric vans to expand its nationwide distribution network. The Multibank model offers more than an anti-poverty project. It's also an anti-pollution project. The Multibank encourages businesses and hard-pressed householders to embrace the circular economy through the creation of a repository, Paul, not a suppository, repository warehouse or bank of surplus and unwanted but reusable household goods, food, clothes, toiletries, furnishings, bedding, children and babies' goods. And instead of these surplus goods being wasted or destroyed, the Multibank promotes recycling and reusing for the benefit of those greatest in need, whilst almost enabling retailers to green bank their surplus products by depositing them in a warehouse before release for reuse for families that really need them. And to support Multibank, Drive Tech, part of the AA, one of our sponsors, donated specialist EV driver training for the charity's team of 75 volunteer drivers. Ain't this just the thing? Oh, brilliant. I love this, Sarah. Isn't it brilliant?
Yeah, it's taking all the goodness in the world. You've got a brilliant charity there, and making their operational costs hopefully lower would be a bonus. And of course, just spreading the good word of EV while spreading the good word of charity starts at home. It's good news.
And this is the sort of thing that goes under the radar, Sam. You know, we've got so much good stuff going on with partners. And that's the reason why the EV Café works, is that we call out the stuff that mainstream media maybe don't want to talk about because it's not bad news. This is brilliant, and we should do more of it.
Absolutely, it's a good news story, and Sarah herself has taught me how to donate things recently from properties and furniture to go to better homes, rather than me throwing them in the bin or going down the tip. So, yeah, all of this stuff is really good. Any upcycling, recycling, and things like this are just great for the community. So, more of it.
And 100 e-sprinters, Paul, can't be sad at that.
No, absolutely not. And you know, the benefit to the charity is not only that they're greener, they're not polluting, it's really sort of serving the community, but the cost of running those vehicles is so much lower. Let's hope that they've got good tariffs, but even without the best tariffs, they can still get really low energy. There's much less downtime and maintenance required, no oil changes, all of the benefits, and they're so much easier and nicer to drive. There are so many benefits for those charity worker drivers, but also the bottom line of the charity can go more into serving the community that they are looking to help. It's brilliant.
Outstanding news this week. If you've got any clean transport PR or news stories you'd like us to cover, please send them to us at hello@evcafe.org. Until next Friday, it's goodbye from me and it's goodbye from them. This has been an EV Cafe production. Other sustainability news services are available. But as everybody else in our industry says, this is just funner!
Fun. Stop it.
The EV Café is truly blessed to be partnered with the AA, Webfleet, Europe Car, Iveco, Utility Line, Schneider Electric, EV Blocks, AW Energy, CPD Bodies and True Charge. We're the EV Café, supporting the transition to clean transport, bringing you the news, supported by Drax Electric Vehicles. It's worth mentioning that we've got an Actionable Insights webinar on Wednesday the 19th, so before next Friday you can see us on Wednesday the 19th at 12, and we've got Keith Shorter of Europe Car and James Dewhurst of Webfleet giving us actionable insights, things what you can do. Enjoy the rest of your day and your weekend wherever it takes you. Storm Claudia is coming later today. An amber warning's in place from noon until the end of the day and covers parts of Wales, the Midlands, the southwest, southeast and east of England. And we could see up to 6 inches of rain, and flooding is likely. Stay safe, stay well. Until next Friday. Bye-bye!
Yeah, nice try, Paul. Too slow.